Hi, Kitchen Kings and Queens. Today we're going to use the rest of that bechamel sauce to make a little something special. This is going to be a little kind of a Italian chicken sandwich. Okay, so I'm going to get started. I minced up one shallot, and I'm going to put that with a little bit of butter in this pan here. I'm also going to add in a little bit of butter into a frying pan because I bought some mushrooms and I think that they would actually go really well with this sandwich. So I'm going to put a little bit of butter in a frying pan and a little bit of butter in the saucepan that I'm going to heat up the bechamel in. Okay, so again, because I'm making an Italian sandwich here, I'm going to use Italian cheeses when I make my Mornay. So again, remember I told you, you can kind of add whatever cheeses you like to make the Mornay sauce. So I'm going to put in that. I think I may also put in some garlic. Okay, so I'm gonna pop in the refrigerator here. I'm gonna grab some of my garlic. You know what? I actually have some garlic already peeled. I'm gonna get my rolls, and I'm also gonna get my other supermarket shortcut, which is a rotisserie chicken. So I'm gonna pop that into the microwave for a couple minutes just to kind of get the chill off of it. And I'm going to work on my bechamel here. I'm going to put two different types of Italian cheeses in here. I'm going to put in some Parmesan, Parmigiano Reggiano, so imported Italian Parmesan. And I'm also going to add in a little bit of the Pecorino Romano, okay, which is a sheep's milk cheese. So one of the cool things about this being in this little container or this little carton is you can really squeeze all of it out. So I'm going to make sure that I get every drop of this bechamel out of the container. Okay. And so that's all in there. And then I'm going to add in the cheeses once this kind of gets fluid in here. Okay, so we're getting there. I'm stirring it up. Oh gosh, everything is happening so fast. I need to chop up a little bit of my garlic, and we're going to put that in with the cheese because if you put garlic in when the shallots go in, the garlic could burn. The shallots have a little bit more flexibility, but if they go in uh, with the shallots, the garlic may burn. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut it up and then I'm gonna dice it, and that will give a nice garlicky flavor. And these are, I mean, this is really kind of like two garlic cloves because they're like huge garlic. Okay, so I'm gonna throw that in. And my butter, oh my goodness, my butter is brown. So I'm going to add in my mushrooms now. I'm actually going to take that off the heat for a second. And then I'm going to, you know what? We're going to start over with this butter because this is just, it's a little too much. So we're going to step back and do the butter in a minute. Okay, the mushrooms in a minute because I don't want them to be ruined. Okay, so the bechamel sauce is done. I'm actually not going to do much more with that. I'm going to put the cheese in. Make sure if you don't like rubbery mushrooms, make sure you just clean them off dry. Okay, don't run them under water because they will get rubbery. Okay, so I'm just gonna slice these into kind of nice meaty slices. These are kind of an Italian variety. They're baby bella mushrooms. So I'm gonna put a fresh pan on and I'm going to pop on a little bit more butter into the pan, the new pan. That other one, it was just the butter was too brown for it to be any good. Okay, so we're gonna make sure we don't repeat that mistake. And while that's going, I'm gonna put in to the cheese, into the bechamel. I'm gonna put some Parmesan in there. And then here is the Romano, okay, which is a sheep's milk cheese. And it's a little bit more strong. So the combination of those two cheeses is actually really, really nice. I'm going to put a little bit of garlic salt in because it does need a little bit of salt. I'm going to crack some fresh pepper in there. And I'm going to stir it up. Okay. So there's the bechamel sauce, which is going to be our cheese sauce. Our butter is good in this pan. So I'm going to kind of, again, purposefully lay these mushrooms in one nice, even layer. Okay? Because we don't want them to get some done and some not done. Okay? And then when I'm done with that, I'm actually going to take the roll, which is this real nice, like kind of like a Portuguese style roll. And I'm going to kind of just get it a little toasted in butter. Okay? So to have that ready for then, I'm going to slice that. And we got our nice roll ready. I'm going to clear all this stuff out. It's always in the way. And we don't need that there. Okay. So we got our nice roll. I'm going to put that off to the side. We're going to clear out this. And we just need one more thing to cut, which is the chicken. So the chicken's on the rotisserie. And we're going to slice that up. Okay. And while that's coming along, I'm going to flip my mushrooms and then we'll assemble this sandwich. Okay, so I have these. Oh no, they must be in the dishwasher. Oh no, here they are. I have these great, they're like pinchers. They're almost like tongs. So they give you really good control of flipping things. They're a type of tongue, but you just get a little bit better control over maneuvering the food in the pan. They're used a lot of times in fancy restaurants to put like very delicate ingredients on like a piece of like a very elegant dish where you need like, you know, a fine leaf or something on there. So those are oftentimes what those are used for, but they work equally well here and in any kitchen to have good control over things. Okay, so I'm going to take out my chicken and I'm going to slice it up. Okay, now this is a rotisserie chicken from Costco. You can make your own. That would be great. We will do an episode where we make rotisserie chicken because I have a really great, well, I've kind of cobbled together a bunch of really great ideas to kind of make my own version of a rotisserie chicken. And we could use the Farberware rotisserie to do that, which works really well. Okay, so I'm going to just take off that. Now, you can take off the skin. It's probably more healthy to do that. I'll take this pan off the heat because our mushrooms are done. I think I'm going to flip them again. Give them a little bit more color on the other side. And they could just sit there while we cut up the chicken. Okay, actually, I forgot. I need to put them aside so that I can use the pan to do the roll. Okay, so I'm actually going to grab a little container here and we're going to pop them out of the oven or out of the pan and put this back on. Wash my hands a little bit more. And put some more butter into our pan. I'll use the butter knife. Okay. And then we'll put our roll in there. Okay. And the good thing about this is, too, using the same pan, I guess it's, you know, sometimes the right thing happens. So the other good thing about using this is that little pan would not have fit these rolls. So this is actually really good for that. Okay, so I'm going to just leave those in there, let them heat up while I cut the chicken. Now, the grain of the chicken goes this way. So I'm going to take off the skin. Sometimes it's nice to include the skin, but I think we have so much going on in this sandwich, or we're going to have so much going on, that I think that we can just use the chicken. And Costco's rotisserie chickens are just really, really, the meat is really delicate. You know, it's a big corporate company, so I don't know. I wouldn't say it's as good as if I made it, but it is very pleasing to the texture of it. But you know, there's there's a lot to be said about factory farming and industrial produced food. So uh, that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother time. So I do not get rid of anything. I don't get rid of the skin. I don't get rid of um, any of the bones. I use that all for stock. So I'll show you when that chicken gets down a little bit more what you can do with that, because don't ever throw it away. There's so much you can do with that stuff to keep using it before you throw it away. So, all right, we are ready to start assembling this sandwich. So, in the Italian sandwich I made, you may have remembered I had my marinated peppers, so I made them again. Well, I have them still. I'm going to use them. Okay, so they're going to be what we start with on our sandwich. Okay, so we're just going to put a couple of them and their juices on the bottom. Remember, the juices, the marinade was basil, garlic, salt, pepper, and olive oil, balsamic. It was actually like reduced balsamic, so it's like very sweet and concentrated flavor. So that's the base of our sandwich. Okay, I'm gonna put that off to the side here. Then we're gonna put our chicken. Okay, and we're gonna be very generous with our chicken because that's the protein in the sandwich. Okay, and I think it's good to have a nice hearty serving of the protein. Okay. Then we're going to put on our mushrooms. Okay. And they are sauteed in butter and looking delicious. Okay. And then we have a couple of let's see where our lid is. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, so we got our top ready there. We're going to add in our bechamel. Okay, so I'm sorry, not our bechamel now. It's our Mornay sauce. Okay, and this is enough for 2 sandwiches, so you can use that to make more. And then I have these, which are these really cute little sweetie drop pearl peppers. I'm going to need my towel here because my hands are a little wet. Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. And they are just adorable. So we're going to put a couple of them on top. They look like little teardrops. Okay. And then we're going to put the lid on. And we are done. Okay. And we're going to cut this sandwich in half. Okay. Et voila. There is our sandwich. So it's a little warm. It's a little saucy. It's a little meaty. It's a little mushroomy. It's a little bit of everything. So that is my Italian chicken panino. And that is what I'm going to be eating for lunch. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this little quickie, and I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you again. Bye, Kitchen Kings and Queens.